What's up, guys? This is Doctor, and welcome to another episode of the FPL Fantasy. In the last episode, Joe went solo. I'm going solo on this episode, hence the layout is slightly different. In the last episode, I was traveling. In this episode, Joe has some family commitments. It seems like family is more important than FPL. Anyways, Joe, enjoy your time with the family. But before getting into this episode, I'm actually sad because I am likely to be out from the top 64 in the overall cup. For the people who have been watching our channel and they've been following me on my Twitter account, they know that I realized that I'm still in the overall cup around game week 31, and then I tried to kind of convince myself to still play for the rank until game week 34. If I'm still in it, I'll kind of change my strategy to play for the cup. It seems like I'll be out of it unless Bruno Fernandes or Bruno Fernandes decide to score like 5 goals tonight, because I have him in my starting lineup, and if he does, I might make it through. But for now, let's get into this episode, and as usual, we talk about captaincy, transfers, and then team reveals. I'm going to reveal my team, and I'm going to reveal Joe's team before mine. But before that, in order to talk about transfers and captaincy seems a bit automatic and probably I'll spend like 30 seconds on it, let's talk about transfers and the way I'm gonna approach it in this episode. And that's what I do kind of for fun every week. I try to prepare a wildcard team slash free hit team, that if I had a free hit or a wildcard, what kind of team that I would go for, and try to find my way into getting those players in my normal team. And the first thing you might notice, it's a 4-5-1 team. Don't worry about the bench. I'm just talking about the starting lineup. Those are the players that I would love to have in my team without a wildcard, without a free hit. I would like kind of to target those players. And you would notice it's a 4-5-1 because there are not many attackers that are kind of we really want to get. You would probably want Isaac by game week 36, 37 for the double. But before that, Watkins have kind of difficult fixtures coming up. Maybe only Wolves, that is the fixture that you would want him for. But otherwise, he's kind of dispensable now. He served us well. The other thing is, I tried to target Liverpool, Man City, Brighton, and Manchester United. And the main difference here, you see that there is Bruno Fernandes still here. I'm arguing if he's still fit, I slightly prefer him over KDB because of the amount of doubles coming up. Bruno, if he's fit, he's not going to miss a minute for Manchester United. A half fit Bruno for Eric Ten Hag would play. So I slightly prefer him over KDB because KDB has the Champions League. He went off injured last night, I believe, versus Arsenal, so we don't know how is his injury. So I can see him missing out few minutes, maybe a game, not starting in one of the double game weeks. I like my minutes, as everybody knows in this channel. Of course, 3 Brighton is a given, and probably March, Mitoma, and Stupinian are the best options. A lot of people went for McAllister, who has been playing kind of DM in the past couple of matches. There are talks that he'll probably go back to the number 10 from the next game week, but I like March stats, Mitoma's ownership, you have to cover him, and Stupinian to cover that defensive line, who plays a lot attackingly, Stupinian. Also, Rashford is an automatic pick, so is Haaland. I chose Ederson, so you notice that I don't have 3 Man City here because I really don't want to go towards Man City for the reasons I mentioned for KDB. Because Grealish, I have a feeling he misses a match as well, or some minutes here and there, especially with Foden back yesterday and getting an assist for Haaland in the last couple of minutes. So I like Ederson as a goalkeeper. He has a high floor, which is 2 points, but he doesn't have a high ceiling. But he has the most fixtures among all the goalkeepers available. So you would like to have him in your team. It's a luxury transfer if you can afford him. I went for the double Liverpool defense because I can't find really, maybe Gakpo or Hakpo, whatever you want to call him, is an option now, but still I feel rotation is about to hit Liverpool. Probably he's the safest option to go in midfield, but midfield options are stacked. A lot of people are arguing for Jota. Again, Nunez is lurking. Firmino might be back any moment. Diaz is back. So I feel there will be a lot of rotation in the Liverpool front lineup and the midfield according to FPL. So I'd rather to have 2 home matches for Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold. So those are kind of the players that I want to have. Of course, Newcastle have a double game week coming up as well. So you see Trippier on the bench. I have Botman in my actual team, and Isaac will join them. So those are the players that I would love to target. So the reason I'm presenting this team is because if you don't have any player from those teams kind of missing, maybe you don't have Rashford, I would get him in. If you don't have Mitoma, March, or 3 Brighton, I would get him in. If you don't have 3 Man United, I would try to fit someone in. If you don't have 3 Man City, I would try to fit someone in. So those are kind of the transfers that I would be targeting if I had kind of none of them. And you see in my team reveal that I'm planning to bring a Liverpool player. Moving on to captaincy, Haaland. If you're not captaining Haaland, you're probably not happy with your rank and trying to kind of find a differential. And if that's the case, I would probably captain Salah. Salah's record is ridiculous at home. Yes, he hasn't scored as many goals as we hoped for this season, but he has 2 home matches versus Fulham, who concede a lot of goals. A lot of people are looking at captaining Rashford, and I see the point, but Aston Villa have been defensively solid recently. They've not been conceding a lot of goals, and Brighton can really frustrate, especially it's a away game, it can really frustrate Manchester United by keeping the ball a lot. But Rashford is the main attacker for Manchester United, so I see the point. So I would say if you're not captaining Haaland, I would probably captain Salah, followed by Rashford. I promised you 30 seconds, it's probably 45 seconds of captaincy section. However, let's move on to the team reveals. And let's start with Joe's team. So here is Joe's team on the screen right now, and he kind of texted me and told me that he's planning 2 free transfers. I know, Joe, those transfers will probably be different by tonight or tomorrow, but the good news is that he's now up to 750k. Joe has been having a crazy season. He went from like 17k in the beginning of the season to like 1 million, down to 500k, up to 1 million again. So he's jumping around a lot because of all the punts that he takes. Now, the transfers that he mentioned to me is simply Emerson Royal becomes Shaw, as you can see from the screen here, that we're using Fpl.team for, and he's going to fund it by selling Zinchenko to Nico Williams. So this is his planned transfer. This is the team that he's planning to go with. I have a gut feeling Harry Kane on the bench. I'm not going to argue. I wish he was here so I can argue with him. But Harry Kane on the bench is borderline crazy versus Liverpool, who've been conceding a lot of goals. So this is Joe's team. Let's move on to my team. Now you can see my team on the screen right now. I'm kind of on a red arrow at 76, a small red arrow at 76k, but I have Bruno hopefully playing tonight and scoring those 5 goals, pushing me to the top 32 in the cup. If not, I'm happy with the run that I did. The rank is now what matters, and I'm happy with the team. I'm absolutely happy with the team. I moved early, and I rarely do any early transfers in my whole FPL career for the 16 seasons. I always wait for more information. That's why I always have terrible value. But because I was in the cup, and because I didn't want to take more hits, I moved early and I brought Salah in last game week for Kane, kind of 2 transfers, and Greenwood for a hit. And this game week, I can just afford. I literally will have 0.0000 in the bank if I do Chilwell to Trent Alexander-Arnold, and this is the team that I'm planning to go with. Of course, I'll watch Bruno's fitness tonight, and if Bruno is fit, happy days, we go forward. If Bruno is not fit for game week 34, I will be considering selling him for either Gakpo or Grealish, as we talked about in the previous section, kind of targeting those teams. Probably is going to be Grealish, just to kind of, this effective ownership is playing in my head. I don't play for the effective ownership. I try to avoid letting it get into my head, but also Grealish has an extra fixture technically, so I might as well just get him in, and even if he misses this extra fixture, he has the same amount of games as Gakpo. Having said all of that, if you enjoyed this episode, do not forget to drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you still haven't, and we will see you on the next episode, hopefully the both of us. Peace.